Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Money Man. Tonight we've got the UEFA Cup final between Manchester United and Villarreal. So we want to try and see if there's any angles for betting and what we think about that. Start with you, Shakes. Who or what would you bet on tonight?
Honestly, it's a very tricky one because I think United are like heavy favorites when you're looking at both teams and the qualities that they have. But I tell you, man, there's just something that tells you can't write down Unai Emery and what he's done in this competition as well. And you look at last season, Inter were heavy favorites, but Sevilla won that game. So in my mind, I'm thinking you probably go United straight, but if you had to be tricky with it and try to be a little bit clever with it, there's nothing wrong with the double chance Villarreal or draw, eh?
Yeah, what's that paying?
That's 1.84.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet, eh? Not a bad bet. You know, there's so many interesting stats in this game, and Ollie's looked at a lot of them, and I've glossed over them. But you know, this final doesn't bode well for English teams. I think they've lost. I think Spanish teams have beaten them nine in a row. So that anybody overestimating Man United or underestimating Villarreal could be in for a bit of a shock. These finals do tend to be pretty drab, though, don't they?
Not in the Europa League. The Europa League's had 24 goals in their last six finals. Regardless of the teams playing, and I think that's what makes tonight quite interesting is that both these teams have been on fine form in terms of scoring goals. You got Man United 18 goals in their last 19 games. Villarreal 23 goals in their last 25 matches. So both teams scoring pretty much a goal a match. But in their previous four meetings,
going back to 2005, mind you.
Was that in 2000?
No, I mean the last four times these teams have played, dates back to 2005.
Sure. So it's been a.
So they haven't played recently. I mean the last game these teams played was in 2008. I think it was in the Champions League. Both all four games were in the Champions League, and they didn't score any goals, did they?
Yeah, I mean you've got two vastly different sides playing now, but you never want to overlook history, and I guess that's why history is the reason that we've got such a good price on both teams to score, which is sitting at 191 on Betway, nearly 90% return on your money on both teams that we've seen can score goals. So it's one of those things you can't sit on the fence here. You got to take a strong side. Do you go with what history says about the two sides or what form says about the two sides?
Yeah, it's a good point, Hall. I'll give you guys a chance to comment on this now, but I think it's going to come down to who goes out and wants to win it, and which team decides to play not to lose it. I think it's all about the attitude tonight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you've got United will be going for their first silverware since 2017. It's obviously a lot of pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. I think we've backed him quite a bit in the show in terms of what he's done, turn Man United season around from the beginning.
I haven't backed him. I think he's had a great season.
I think you've backed his season nonetheless.
They finished second, which was much better than I had anticipated that they would do. But you still see it's tough to sort of get a gauge on the Premier League in a full year of COVID. Teams aren't buying players because they can't afford them. It's a different environment, so it's tough to gauge where Man United are as a team.
Yeah, especially a side that's got such an illustrious history of trophies and cups and just silverware in general. There's a hell of a lot of pressure on anyone coming in, not to just do a good job or a good fix-it job, but to come in and win trophies, which, he hasn't done. So that'll obviously be a huge undertone to today's game. But then, Shakes, you mentioned earlier, is obviously Unai Emery's record in Europe. You're looking for his fourth title, so his fourth cup.
And that's the thing though, because also I watched Villarreal closely because they did knock out my beloved Arsenal, so I had to watch both legs. And one thing I did realize from Villarreal is that they're not actually the fastest team in the competition, but what they're really good at is being technically good. So they're able to sort of pass the ball, keep the ball, hold possession, more of your Spanish play that what you're sort of used to them keeping the ball. I think United is capable of scoring, but also what I've seen with United ever since Harry Maguire's gotten his injury, they haven't actually looked very strong at the back.
They've won 1 out of 4 games. Hey, Shakes, the last 4. They've won 1 out of 4.
Yeah, they've won 1 out of 4, and that was the last game of the Premier League with Wolves, where they beat them 2-1. But the interesting thing is they conceded against Wolves. They also just the way that Liverpool scored the 4 goals against Manchester United, you could just see that Maguire plays a really crucial role at the back at United. And that's why I think both teams scored a very good shout, without a doubt. And I think you're right in terms of who is going to want it more. I think the key players to look out for tonight is Samuel Chukwueze of Villarreal. He's a speedy winger. He's Nigerian. He actually was part of. Sorry,
I saw he may be out.
He may be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did pick up an injury against Arsenal in the second leg, but here they say he's doubtful. So if he's in the game, I think he's going to be a very key player in terms of the way that he plays. He is sort of the speed within the team as well towards the right, and obviously for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. We'll be looking at his numbers. He's been very crucial as well. But I'm not going to. It's so hard to pick because United are heavy favorites, and I understand why. But at the same time, I'm thinking. Inter were heavy favorites. Liverpool against Sevilla seasons ago were heavy favorites in this final, and those teams lost. So it's a hard one to pick.
I agree with that, Ollie. And I think the bookies get it wrong when it comes to this. There should be in a campaign like this where you've had to play so many matches to get to the final. The form of Villarreal in this competition has been exceptional. It's been wonderful. I mean, they've scored in every game other than the Arsenal game. And they may have had a different tactic in playing that game after the result at home. There shouldn't be that disparity of 4.21 to 1 on Sevilla. And that's where I'm going to hedge a little bit of money tonight, because these two teams should be close in the betting. There shouldn't be that discrepancy. And the other thing is that Sevilla need this win more than Man United. I mean that by
Villarreal, yes.
Yeah, they win, they get into the Champions League. They don't. So there's more at stake for Villarreal as a club and financially than Man United.
It's a massive point that you're pointing out there, Kevin, in the sense that they do need this win in order to make the Champions League. The money that could come with it as well, especially after what we're hearing with Spanish clubs, and obviously the COVID-19 has also hit clubs as well. So they definitely need that money, and they could end up going out there wanting it more, because with Manchester United, it's just a trophy for them, because Champions League is already secured for them. But it's going to be very interesting. And if I had to, I think I'll go with the both teams to score. Like Ollie said, I think Oliver said in terms of that, I can see definitely happening. I'm not sure about straight winner. I think I'm going to leave this like 10 minutes before the game starts. It's very close.
Yeah, I think you've got to get clarity on those two players, Maguire and what is the gentleman's name? Sorry? Chukwueze. I mean, they're two key pieces on that board, aren't they?
Yeah, look, Shakes, I agree with what you said about the stylistic clashes. You've got, Villarreal, not necessarily the fastest side, but classic Spanish football, good at keeping the ball. But they're going to have to be very guarded about getting caught on the counter, because that's where Man United will kill you with the pace that they've got up front. And will probably be looking to go because they don't want too much pressure on a back line that's now, missing Maguire's. They're going to be looking to sort of suck in and just boom, knock it up and get the pace of. I think Martial is out, obviously, but I think that they've got, obviously Greenwood up front, Rashford up front, and, against not the quickest Villarreal side, that could be a huge momentum changer. So it's going to be an interesting sort of stylistic clash too.
Should we make our predictions then?
Yeah, let's
Let's go for it.
I'll go first. I'm gonna pick Villarreal 1-0.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm gonna Shakes, you go.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with Manchester United 3-1.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
And what's the bet that you're gonna be making?
I think he
The
said
bet that I'll be making is both teams to score, and another bet that both teams to score, and another bet I will be adding on to the bet slip or creating another bet slip is Cavani to score at 2.58 anytime goal scorer.
Good shout. He comes through in matches like this. But yeah, I'm more in agreement with you here, Shakes. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Man United, and I'm gonna go both teams to score.
Well, we'll do another show on Thursday, on Friday for the Champions League on the weekend, and good luck to you guys with your bets, and thanks for hooking up on Zoom.
Thanks, Kev.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Always a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure. Good luck, guys. And obviously, we'll review this result as well, but on Friday.
Of course. Thanks, Shakes. Thanks, Ollie.